This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So today we're talking about why Black women have so many daddy issues, and we're going to take a very unique perspective today. So you definitely want to tune in. I want you to listen to a clip. And once you listen to the clip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of the comments for that clip. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen with everyone, and here we go.
I don't know. Maybe I think I can speak to my sons about it, but not my daughter. I think that's her mother's job. I don't know if that can be my job.
Actually, if your daughter is heteronormative, she'd be having sex with men, right? So wouldn't it be more affirming if, as a man, you were like, listen, I want you to experience pleasure? It should be fathers, and not in a gross way, but telling their daughters, like, I love you. If you're not getting pleasure, that man doesn't deserve you. I think that's a powerful thing, but I also think it's a scary thing.
Now, I'm going to read some of the comments. Some of the comments say, this mentality would have my daughter prioritizing sexual stimulation over security. Horrible advice. I don't trust anyone that uses the word heteronormative. This is feminist BS. The more men that your daughter sleeps with, the less likelihood of her pair bonding with her husband. Enjoy gratification now, be miserable alone later. That actually wasn't what she was talking about. She didn't say that a father should tell his daughter to have a bunch of partners. That's not in that little clip. That's not what she said. So I would never want my dad to say that to me. As a man, the conversation should stop before sex. Does he treat you right? Does he fulfill his duties as head of the household? Is he a great father to the kids? Sex is a conversation for you and your mother. There is a line that, as your father, it is not my place to know the intimate details of your sex life. The only advice would be, is he the only one you're with? And are you the only one he's with? Other than that, it's not my business. Says, funny, in another clip, everyone was praising her for what she was saying. And this one, she's crazy and weird. Funny how quickly people flip when you say one thing they don't agree with is just, which this is just one 10-second clip from an hour-long conversation. So she sounds crazy, and that's inappropriate for a man to say to his daughter. So I'm not telling my daughter to enjoy. Every word this lady says is a red flag. So I agree, sit your daughter down with her mother, but first talk with your wife, lady mother first, about what you're going to say, so you can balance off you, her father and mother, so she doesn't have this convoluted way. Mainly parents got to be the first with information to guide our children along the way, so the world don't challenge them in the toxic, corrupt way. And it's not scary at all. Why it's scary when sex is the path that determines how you move in life. Okay. So let me stop sharing. We in the Black community, we have a very interesting and very toxic and very convoluted thought pattern about sex in general, about anything surrounding sex. It's weird because we are promiscuous, but then we also have this sort of weird complex about sex and the thought of sex and the conversation of sex. It's not something that you should talk about, but it is something that you can do, and it's like nobody's business. But taking that approach has left us in a situation where we've turned sex into this really transactional, very degrading, very nasty, very vulgar kind of debasing thing, which is why we think it's inappropriate for a father to talk to his daughter about sex. See, what this is what it is. If we're going to say that a man is responsible for not only giving his wife the 4 P's, but also giving his children the 4 P's, that means all 4. That means whether he has sons or daughters. He's supposed to give provision, problem solving, protection, and procreation. Procreation is physical intimacy, ranging from affectionate touches and words to sexual intercourse. So that means there's a range of affection and expressions of that. So any and all expressions of love, care, or support. Isn't that what you give your children? The creation and raising, not only the creation, not only the quote unquote sperm donor, but the raising of his children with his values and the culture of his household. When we take a look at the etymology of the word procreate and we break it down into its forms, okay, into its sections, the word pro, or the prefix pro, okay, means forward, forth, towards, the front, okay, beforehand, in advance, taking care of, or in place of, or on behalf of, okay. So we have also pro, before, in front of, sooner than, okay, forward, hence, in front of, before, towards, in favor of, or favoring, okay, cur. It's the hypothetical source of evidence for its existence, okay? To bring forth, to create, to produce, to be born, to spring up, grow, thrive, or swell, okay? And then procreative as an adjective, having the power or function of begetting. To procreate is to beget, generate, or engender children, okay? To bring forth offspring, to beget, generate, or produce. Creare, to create, okay? So when we break down the word procreate, that is a word, in none of that etymology did I say sex, right? But when we think of procreation, we automatically go only to sex. We don't say anything about other forms of affection, other forms of love. We actually take love out, okay? We're so steeped in the lost value system that procreation is this loveless, nasty, transactional thing that only men and women of the dirtiest promiscuity, nasty thing, that's only that. That's why we think that it's inappropriate for a father who is responsible for the upbringing of his daughter in all ways to talk to her in any way, shape, or form about sex in any form, and that only her mother should do it. Here's the problem. Haven't women been talking to other women about men only exclusively? And where has that gotten women? Think about it. Women have been teaching other women, and here's why. Okay? Not only do we automatically think it's inappropriate, we automatically think it's weird, a weird, nasty, dirty little conversation, because we villainized men. All men. We have villainized and demonized male input into his family, into his children, into his wife and marriage, into his household, into his community. We've demonized every single aspect of masculinity and what men have to offer in the upbringing of his children. We have diminished men down to his wallet and his sex, so that when we talk about him in any other capacity, it becomes weird. He creepy, right? Feminism is what taught everybody that men plus sex equals creepy. In any way that you put that, there's no way to join the concept of men and masculinity to sex and not come up with creepiness. It's always got to be creepy and nasty and predatory and, you know what I'm saying, maybe even incestuous and maybe even dirty. So that if we talk about a father having a frank talk with his daughter about the birds and the bees, we automatically think he creeping. He's a creepy. We don't think that when a mom has that bird and bee talk with her son, though. That's just a mom. Being a mom, she's supposed to teach her kids. Yeah. And fathers are supposed to teach their children. A daughter is supposed to receive age-appropriate education about sexuality, her body, the thought patterns, her being a female, her growing up into a woman and crossing the barrier between childhood and girlhood into young ladyhood and womanhood. She's supposed to get balance. She's supposed to get information from her mother from the feminine side, but she's also supposed to get information from her father from the masculine side, right? It is the father's job to teach. What about a single father that's raising a daughter? Where's she supposed to get this information? Porn? The internet? Some dude that tells her mouth is for giving him a blowjob and that's all it is for? Or to tell her that her breasts are only for his pleasure, don't have nothing to do with breastfeeding a child, which is what they really for, which is why we're mammals, right? That's something her father says to her. All right. So the first thing we got to do is lose this very vulgar association that we have to the term procreation. It goes so much further than any sex and whatever nastiness that we attach to it. And we've done this because like I said, we've removed love from the equation and replaced it solely with the concept of carnal pleasure. And even then, it's at its basest, most degrading form, right? It is her father's job to give her the talk from a masculine standpoint. Baby, this is what it's about. When a man love you, he do this, that, and the third. When, if he only wants sex from you or he's doing this, that, and the third with you, or he wants to, or he expresses that, this is what this means. Because I'm a man, I know I'm your dad, but I'm a man. I was a man before I was your dad. Okay. And I'm telling you what men think and our language. You need to be able to understand what men do and our language. And we like to think of procreation as only sex. Procreation is not only sex, even between a husband and a wife. Procreation is not just sex, even between a husband and a wife. And that relationship is romantic. So we got to drop this lost value system mindset that procreation is this nasty word. And so therefore it become creepy when we associate that concept to between a father and a daughter. He's not automatically creepy, because if we make daddy creepy, we make all men creepy. That's the trick bag that feminism put everybody in. Daddy's creepy. So the girl's first interaction with her father gotta be defined and underlined with this undercurrent of weirdness and creepiness and wrongness if he talks to her about anything sexual. He's not trying to have sex with her. And we got to get that out of our head. He's not trying to have sex with her. If he kisses her, that's not sexual. He's not aroused by that. That doesn't do anything for him. That's his expression of love for his daughter. That's all it is. That's it. We're the one that put all these nasty connotations to it. But it is in its purest form. It's not some type of automatic thing that's got to be this dirt. Well, you know, especially when we got single mothers out here having photo shoots with their pubescent sons, okay, almost tongue kissing them, recreating romantic scenes from movies. I'm thinking of a picture where this mother and son recreated the scene from one of the Spider-Mans where I forget which one it was, where she kissed, he was hanging upside down and she pulled his mask. Mary Jane pulls Spider-Man's mask down and kisses him in the mouth. That was a sexual scene. That wasn't no platonic kiss. That was a romantic kiss. And then you had a mother-son recreate that in a photo shoot. Now, we don't think that's nasty. No, nobody say nothing about that. But a father that kisses daughter in the mouth, give her a... Now all of a sudden, oh, what he doing? He ain't doing nothing. Kissing his daughter? I've kissed my father in the mouth before. And it wasn't nothing to it. The father is the one that teaches the daughter that her body isn't just some plaything for some dude to come deal with. He's the one that teaches her honor about that. Don't let no man just smut you and use you. This man needs to come with a commitment to you, is what he needs to do. Your mouth ain't for giving the whole football team a blowjob. That's not what your mouth for. That's not, that my daughter not going to be debased like that. Yes, you have your sexual side and ain't nothing wrong with that. He should be the first man that don't shame her for her sexuality. He actually puts some honor to it and some integrity to it. And you know what I mean? Her mother's going to give her a different perspective of her sexuality. Her father's going to give her a different one. He can have a talk with her about the birds and the bees. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. This is where all these daddy issues come from, because men are creepy. Even your daddy is creepy. Like you gotta knock that off. Anyway, before we sign off, I like to draw everyone's attention to Black Lives Matter. We still have a petition going, and we want to get at least 7,500 signatures. So that's about 2,500 more signatures than what we have just about. Definitely would love to get there. Definitely thanking everyone who has already signed and shared and contributed to the petition. If you want to also hold Black Lives Matter accountable for the theft of more than $90 million in donated funds, please go into the description box and click the link. Go ahead and sign, share, and contribute to the petition. Also, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to this channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.